when you follow and research them through, is pedophilia comes up all the time, and Satanism, blood-drinking human sacrifice ceremonies. And these two are fundamentally connected. If you look at the way that human society is structured, it is actually structured to produce that energy. When something keeps happening, the question needs to be asked, why? What is it about these people that they want to have sex with children? What they're doing, pedophiles, is acting as a conduit, and through the pedophile, in the course of having sex with children, the possessing entity is drawing that energy out. The ancients talked about this, sacrifice of young virgins to the gods. Young virgins was code for children, and they are vampiring off that energy field, because it seems very, very strongly that they want the energy of children before puberty, because at puberty there is a chemical change, quite obviously a chemical hormonal change at puberty, that's what it is, that changes the energy field and makes it less, if you like, desirable for them. It's less than the pure essence that they're looking for. And so they possess these pedophile entities. The possession triggers the lust for children, and then in the act of the horrific act of sex with children, they're drawing off that energy. And so you get pedophilia and Satanism, human sacrifice, blood-drinking ceremonies, animal sacrifice, etc., in a fantastically greater ratio among the upper echelons of society than you do in the general population. Because in the end, we see the physical. They're always looking at the energetic. And it's all energy in the end, and the manipulation of energy, and the vampiring and absorption of energy. It is the initiates proving that their allegiance is to the cult, to make sure that the person is willing to do anything that the cult, the control system at that level, says they must do. And sacrificing your firstborn is, well, if you'll do that, you'll do anything. In 1998, I named Ted Heath, the Prime Minister of Britain from 1970 to 74, who actually signed us into what is now the European Union. This man was extraordinary in the scale of human sacrifice and murder and torture that he got into. And he was Prime Minister of this country. If he wanted to go to court, which he would of course have to do publicly, he could have stopped that book, but he didn't. Why? Because it's true. Because I talked to people who'd seen some of the things that he did. You know, when Satanists have come out, like David Berkowitz, the son of Sam Killer in New York, who was jailed for the murders as if he did it alone. Well, in prison, he actually wrote to a Christian minister. They interchanged communications, and he explained that actually it was the Satanic cult in that area of New York that was doing it, and he was just the front man for it. And he said in some of his letters, you know, people think basically that Satanists are like the lowlife of society. That's how they perceive them. No, he said, they're the doctors. They're the people that run society. They're the pillars of society. Politicians are introduced to pedophilia, and how it's our little secret, and how when the children are abused by the politicians, the children are then used in satanic rituals so they can't tell. Kids like that, on an enormous, fantastic scale, are being abused, are being tortured, and are being sacrificed, while people on bloody Twitter go, I don't care where you are listening to this, it's going on in your community, that these people have anal sex with children, even girls, right? And it's to do with accessing the base chakra, the base vortex, and sucking out the energy which they feed on. And when they're having sex with the children, they're just taking the child's energy through the middleman. That's what's going on. They're energy vampires. So how it works. And wherever you go, if you follow a major public figure in politics, the system in general, the control system, you will almost every time eventually come across paedophilia and Satanism. The police won't investigate because they're part of it at the top level. The government won't investigate it because they're part of it at the top level. Paedophilia and Satanism is the connecting network that pulls these people together. And it's also the ongoing, all-time threat of exposure if you don't do then what the control system says. You know, and I look at certain people in British politics, so I know are paedophiles. I see them and others making decisions that are just outrageous, absolutely in line with the agenda. Because it's like, we want you to introduce this, mate. Well, I'd rather not. Do you want the video in the post? When else to send it? Oh, well, having thought about it, yes, I think it's a very good idea. I'll do that. And that's how it works. You'd be terrified of saying no to them. You can't say no to them. They've got too much on it. The Satanists who've come out and, you know, exposed their own experiences when they wanted to get out of it. They talk about this obsession with destruction and suffering. It's because that's the energy that these people represent, and they're trying to introduce it. People would never believe it. They think human sacrifice ended with those primitive people. Yes, they did it then, but not now. Oh no, they still do it. They did it then openly because that's the way it was. They do it now secretly because that's the way we are, but they still do it. People generally perceive the number of children that go missing in the world by the number of missing children stories they see on the news. And of course that's few. But the numbers in fact are absolutely astronomical.